I was waiting for JPO to say the thing, but I realized he's got.
Oh yeah, now we're
So,
live.
no, so I respect that you chose not to talk with your mouth full because that's just a very respectable thing to do.
Yeah.
And we're live.
But we are live. We're live. Lonely Marks Wrestling Podcast here on the Lonely Marks channel. I am joined as always by my fellow Lonely Marks. Although I don't know, Austin, we haven't talked in a while, so I don't know if you're actually lonely anymore.
I'm not really lonely anymore, so I
Yeah, this
apologize.
son of a bitch over here.
It's my turn to not be lonely for a while. I'm
Shoot,
sorry.
I'm last.
So yeah,
Dang.
so yeah, no, I'm not terribly lonely right now. In fact, she's in the other room waiting for me to get done with the stamp show. So,
Hello, mysterious woman.
Yes.
All right, so
she can't hear. She can't hear you. I have headphones on.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm not on a speaker.
let's talk as much news as we can. Let's really just make
Stretch.
Oh shoot,
Stretch.
we're gonna stretch, and then you guys will have a 15 match card to talk about anyway. So
we're not going to talk about every single one of those damn matches. We're going to pick and
Well,
choose.
you don't want to talk about Kyle Fletcher versus Pentaco? We didn't even predict because I didn't think that was happening.
They just added it. Yeah, I don't have a lot to say about the learning tree versus Joe and Hook and all that. I don't have a lot to say about some of these matches. So half of them I wasn't really paying attention. So yeah, even though we were live. So yeah, no, we'll pick and choose, Richie. What we talk about there, but we got other things to talk about first, right, Jacob?
We do, yeah. We'll talk some news, but yeah, first of all, Austin. Other than that, how's it going?
No, I'm good. Yeah. No, I've been chilling. Me and my girl were actually watching some wrestling before we went live. Just some random stuff, watching some Ric Flair matches, watching a little Best of Goldberg. That's fun. It's just
that has to be the shortest video. The Best of Goldberg.
Oh yeah, it's just a bunch of short matches, but it's
just one match. Yeah.
We watched a whole bunch of TLC matches the other day. That was good. She loves the Hardy Boys, so watch it. Unfortunately, Edge and Christian won most of those matches, so that's no good. They won. It's really weird. They won the Triangle Ladder match at WrestleMania, right? They won the first TLC. They won the second TLC. It's like they won fucking everything. They couldn't give anybody else anything else.
Yeah, I know. And then they did another TLC, and they weren't even. Yeah, they'd all gone their separate ways at that point. And I think it was won by Jericho and Benoit.
Yeah, Jericho and Benoit won that one that they were also a part of, and then and then the Raw one, Jericho was in it, but Jeff Hardy was in it by himself. Kane won it by himself. Yeah, he didn't win it with a partner. So yeah, Jeff Hardy was in there, but he teamed with RVD. So yeah.
Did your girl watch much wrestling prior to meeting you?
Oh yeah, no, she's a huge wrestling fan. So that's she loves movies and wrestling. She watched a whole bunch of Attitude Era stuff. That was when she watched.
Ooh, did she have any sisters?
Yeah, right. No.
For real. Oh, okay.
For real. No, seriously. Yeah, so it's been fun.
Part of your family, Pets.
Yeah, right. You can come over and watch wrestling. It's fine.
Joined it also by Richie. Richie, how's it going?
I'm good. I'm doing all right. Look. I might be lonely, but hey, I can be with Mariah May in my heart. I can.
She's busy with two other people. Richie,
I'm jealous. Come on, I'm charming as well.
She's like, come out.
Yeah.
Number 3, baby.
I realized after watching that match, we'll get to it. I think I might have a future 7th ex-wife. And
I like champagne.
and Cheryl Cower, she was great. Good to be here to talk Forbidden Door and Money in the Bank predictions, which thankfully I don't think are predictable, which is always good because it makes predictions more fun.
And last but certainly not least, we were in the same state for a week, but unfortunately we're too far apart.
I wasn't important enough for Jacob to come visit.
Yep. Well, to visit, he would have had to steal the youth bus and drive down there.
Hey,
which we didn't have because we flew.
Best friends find a way.
Yeah, well, remember, I'm not your best friend anymore.
Nope. Shout out to Michael Turner. Who'll probably be too busy to even play this year.
You're guaranteed a new best friend.
He's not lonely. He's on a lonely mode.
Hey, one of you three could win it. Best of luck to all of you. We'll do it sometime early August. We'll find a day that works for everybody.
Oh, see, I'm busy all of August. That's
shut up. No, you're not. No, you're not.
But JPO, how's it going?
Oh, just dandy here. Yeah, as Richie said here, there's a couple of fun matches that they could go a couple different ways. So that'll be fun to discuss. Coming off another New Japan Forbidden Door. The door's not very forbidden now. They're on like the fourth one.
They need to retard
the loud door, the super cool
the door.
It's just revolving at this point. Like, I'm just gonna walk through if you want. But yeah, no, we'll go ahead and get into it. We'll jump into some news.
Mm-hmm.
I think the one that's probably fresh in all of our minds is the MJF heel turn from last night. Daniel Garcia losing to Will Ospreay in a pretty great TV match. I really enjoyed the match. From what I saw, I had to tune in late, so I caught the YouTube.
They uploaded most of it on YouTube, like pretty much
Yeah.
most of the match, and then all the post-match stuff with NJF they actually put on YouTube. Do that more, AEW. Put some of those matches on YouTube. Not everybody has cable. I'd love to see some of these matches.
Don't make it easy for this fucker. No, make it cable.
Hey, listen, Raw even uploaded.
I pay for Sling. You should pay for Sling.
Hey, listen, no. Raw uploaded Dragunov, Sheamus, and Drew, the full match on YouTube. So thank you for that, because I watched that on my lunch break the other day.
And USA's probably like, hey, can we get some fucking subscribers up in here? That's why you're going to Netflix. We hate you.
Well, they would be more edgier and great.
Yeah, and then AEW decided to upload the post-match stuff in its own clip as well, to really bump up those YouTube views.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've kind of been a little out of the loop with AEW, so I didn't even know that Daniel Garcia and MJF was a thing. I thought when MJF returned, he was like, no more buddy, whatever, and then he's with another buddy, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me. So the heel turn, I was like, yeah, how do you not see that coming, Daniel? This is on you. But no, I enjoyed it. I think MJF works really well as a heel. I think he's just going to get those natural cheers because I think he's just, the fans really like what he's doing. He's very good at being unlikable, that it makes him likable. So we'll just go around. What do we think of the heel turn, Pez? We can start with you.
Because I did actually get to see it, which was good. And yeah, I mean, he played it pretty perfectly. Kind of embraced him, and then kicked him in the balls and started beating him up with the ring and everything. Yeah, I mean, I think MJF is just better when he's just such a natural heel. It's kind of like what we talk about with like Logan Paul when they introduced him first and tried to make him like a face. It's like, no, that guy has heel energy. Like some people just have heel energy and they need to embrace it. And well, he did say in that promo, the very long promo with the previous pay-per-view, no more friends, no more BS, no more kangaroo kicks. I'm gonna get back to being basically a scumbag again. And so Daniel Garcia, you shouldn't have trusted a guy like MJF. Don't trust a guy who cuts a promo like that and says he's not gonna have any more friends, basically. But he jawed. It's funny, crowd popped initially when he kicked him, but then settled into him being like giving him the heel heat right afterwards. So they settled back into it. I think the crowd was everybody's kind of been ready for him to turn heel again and really start setting up for an eventual probably at this point a match with Ospreay is what it's looking like at Wembley. Is probably what it's looking like. So that might be what they set up. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, him as a heel, I think is still always kind of a bigger draw.
Yeah, not to jump ahead, but I did see the results for Forbidden Door, and it seems like it was a pretty clean win for Swerve, which is surprising. You can get into it later, Richie. I want to know what your thoughts are on the heel turn.
Yeah. I was just saying, sort of. I was going to leave it at that. But yeah. Like I thought it was. I was shocked. I think MJF seems like a nice guy. Why would he do that? I don't. I think it's beneath it. No. I feel like. I mean, I'm glad they're pushing Daniel Garcia because Daniel Garcia is great and like they're being very stop-start with him. I felt like they were going to get that big push with when he was, maybe gonna go on his own after the Jericho Appreciation Society, and then it was like, oh, they just dropped it, and then he was sort of back to where he was. I'm like, so I'm hoping that being paired with like, being on a program with MJF, which I'm guessing he'll just kayfabe tape, time off for a bit, and then they'll just restart the program. So being in a program with MJF will help, and hopefully this does lead for him to at least having some sort of gold in the future, whether it be international or I mean, you never know, maybe world at some point. I think that's way down the line, but he's got the talent there, and he's super over. So I do think he's a natural heel. But yeah, I thought it was done really quite well, and I'm looking forward to it where they go. But yeah, it's looking like MJF and Ospreay at Wembley, which I'm okay with because apparently it was Ospreay that wanted the match with Swerve at Forbidden Door for reasons. So because he didn't want the champion to feel he didn't want Swerve to feel like he was just a placeholder for Will Ospreay, and he wanted to make it out like no one's above losing to the champion. So I get that now. That's fine. So I'm all for that, and the heel tournament was good. So
JPO.
I'm surprised no one's brought up what I'm about to bring up, which is my qualm with it is, are we fucking done with the devil shit with Adam Cole? Was that the whole fucking point of this face turn? Was to end up having a match with a heel Adam Cole? So I feel like, was that all wasted? I mean, that's why I'm kind of curious.
I felt like the devil stuff was
scumbag, but
was dead in the water anyways once they revealed him as the devil. I mean, that whole thing was
revenge against Cole. He just kicked him.
No, I think the revenge against Cole was just the brainbuster when he came back. The problem is I don't think Adam Cole is near ready to come back from his broken ankle, so they can't be like, oh, we'll just wait for him to come back. It's like could be ages from now, so they're just like, we'll circle back to it one day.
That whole devil thing was just that unfortunate. That whole devil thing that was a waste of fucking time. I like MJF as a scumbag, so I'm totally fine with that. And if it leads to a match with Ospreay, that makes sense because that seems like a pretty big first time match. That's going to be at a really big show. You need a bigger opponent now for Ospreay. Now that we know he's definitely not going for the title, so no, that tracks. It just kind of felt like I don't know. Things definitely did not go the way it was probably planned.
Yeah. So to your Adam Cole MJF point, I will say we're still waiting for Swerve Strickland versus Keith Lee.
Yeah. Jack, bring Keith Lee out of what city or what time, whatever he is, and have some matches on AEW.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with MJF going forward. He's always. Yeah, I think he's always going to get just cheers from the fans, even though he is a heel. I think, like I said, people just like the work that he's doing. And I've even come around on him. I've been vocal about it. I wasn't the biggest MJF fan, but can't deny that he connects with the crowd, whether as a heel or a face. So, yeah,
I think his in-ring work has picked up as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's me or I think his in-ring work is. I've just noticed that. I don't know if he's just been doing more, but I just feel like he's, I don't know, the work rate's there. I'm like, he's actually a pretty good wrestler. I don't know. I've always thought that he was good, but but he's blown me away more lately as a wrestler.
Yeah. I'm also curious what they do with Daniel Garcia when he returns. I don't know if he's going to be off for, maybe just a short amount of time or whatever, but I think he's connecting with the fans too, and I think the fans would love to see him win a title of some sort, whether it is that international or the TNT or whatever. I think they're booking Daniel Garcia right. He's he's a AEW Sami Zayn, only he's I think like an actual underdog because I think people really want to get behind him and see that big win for him.
Although he's the Sting of AEW, where he trusts partners, so don't trust your partner.
But yeah, so I think that's the biggest news piece of the week, at least in my opinion. Anyway, JPO, is there anything you wanted to bring up news wise? If you can, unless he's on a delay.
If you're talking to me, probably.
Okay.
What was the question?
Anything newsworthy that you wanted to bring up from the week?
Well, I wanted to speak of the Forbidden Door. WWE continues to do some more Forbidden Door stuff. I don't think we ever really talked about how you got Io Sky, and I think somebody else is going to Noah, and they just announced Creed Brothers going to Game Changer for Bloodsport. So there's some real Forbidden Door stuff that we're continuing to see over there.
Yeah, and Shayna Baszler is going to be on that show as well again.
Oh, yeah, that's probably why I forgot about her because we've seen her already. But yeah, now that the Creed's doing it,
that'll be interesting. And I'm also interested. Yeah. I like the Creed brothers. I want WWE to use them more too. Maybe with Chad Gable. I don't know.
I assume. Can I? Speaking of Chad, can I bring up something that I know? I just thought it was funny. Like usually, I mean, I'm usually kind of agree with Brian Alvarez, but he had a weird fucking argument about something the other. Like apparently they've NXT's got this like Olympic gold medalist, right? I can't remember. Yeah. Can't remember the name. That's kind of the point. It's like because he had a big rant that they've changed her name, and because they WWE sometimes do that trademark stuff. But it's just like but you wouldn't. Why do they have to do that? She's Olympic gold medalist. You wouldn't change Ronda Rousey's name. Like, well, yeah, that's because Ronda Rousey was already famous before you went to WWE. That's not really a good point. I don't know. I just think like if you look up her name too, it's like not like doesn't like roll off the tongue. I don't know. I have no issue with like it'd be one thing if like Samoa Joe came into the company. Yeah, came in from I don't know, like TNA and went to WWE or something, and they called him something else. You're like, yeah, but like he's Samoa Joe, just call him Samoa Joe. And especially if he owns a thing. If they changed CM Punk's name, that'd be an outrage. Yeah, but even when Bryan Danielson was Daniel Bryan it took a while for people to accept that. But like I don't know. I just think when it's someone outside of it, I don't think it really matters. Like Chad Gable's name's not Chad Gable.
Tyra Steele.
Yeah. I think her name. I think that's her ring name now. But yeah, so Tyra Steele.
Well, her given name is Tamra Mensa Stock.
That doesn't roll.
It doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, so I'm okay with them changing it to.
But he went on the whole thing. It's like, yeah, would you
Kurt Angle?
Kurt
Angle's a good name. Yeah.
World champion
Tamra Mensa Stock. Yeah.
It's like
Kurt Angle works. Kurt Angle, it rolls off the tongue. It's quick, it's easy. Tyra Steele's
my only problem. Tyra Steele sounds a bit too generic, but it's a step above. And I don't know. WWE always, as for years and still to this day, obviously goes a little back and forth on that. But like you said, this isn't a Ronda Rousey situation. This isn't even like a Samoa Joe situation, So.
But he brought up Ronda Rousey as an example, they didn't change her name, they didn't change Kurt Angle. I'm like, because Ronda Rousey because she's already famous. Kurt Angle because it's easy to say. Even Gable Stevenson because it's easier to say. It's like more memorable. So just I don't know. I don't think he has a point. Lately I've been I don't know where Brian's coming from. He's been even with the White Six stuff. I'm just like,
hey, Brian Alvarez, if you want to come to our channel and tell us what the fuck you're talking about.
And also Ronda Rousey was on WWE TV before she was actually signed with the company as Ronda Rousey, so it wouldn't make sense to change her name anyway.
Yeah.
They were never going to change the girl that has been in movies and
no.
Yeah. I mean, so it was a dumb point. He had no point.
I know. Every once in a while, he's another Cornette that sometimes rides rides something really hard for some reason. Yeah.
It's a bit of a small thing, but it's sort of funny to bring up.
I more
Angel
agree with
Garza's-
this take that I agree more with this take that there's
Yeah.
too many athletic blondes on NXT that you can't
Oh,
tell
there
apart.
is Carly
There is.
Wright, Carmen. What is it?
Briley Pierce. Is it Brinley Pierce? Briley
Yeah,
Pierce.
Brinley. Yeah,
Brinley-
there's at least 4 to 5 of them that I have a hard time telling apart. Yeah,
Sol
Right.
Ruka. At least she stands out a bit more. She's
no,
like-
she's stand out a little more.
and she's like really, she's quite good.
Yeah, no, they definitely need a little bit more. And there is some, obviously other diverse people, but there's definitely several of them. When you put them in a lineup, I'm not even sure I can tell you who's who.
Yeah, no, it's not like back in, even in 2002 women's division where it's like Trish didn't look like Stacy Keibler, who didn't look like Victoria, who didn't look like Ivory, who didn't look like Molly Holly, whatever. They all look different, didn't look like Jazz, obviously. They all look different, and stood out. Yeah, now it's and especially when he makes a good point when they'll be cutting promos and there's no title cards, no name cards. I don't know which of the 12 blondes, tall athletic blondes, this one is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Tell me who they are. Make them stand out.
Thea Hale, Izzy Dame. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the names now off the top of my head. Yeah, because there's one girl that I thought was Thea Hale. She was just acting really bright and bubbly, but she was with Idris and Malik, and I'm like, oh no, that's a different bright and bubbly blonde. That's just all excited. You have the exact same cadence as Thea Hale does.
I only know Thea Hale because she's tiny and she's with Chase U. If she wasn't in the Chase U outfit,
man.
If she wasn't in the Chase U
that's
outfit,
what I'm saying. Yeah, put her with someone else. We know.
Yeah.
If anyone's curious, Angel Garza is re-signed as well. He'll be sticking around for the next 3 years, unless something happens. But it does show that they have at least the momentarily want to keep him around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And it'd be
And then
interesting
one
to see
thing
if-
I like that they're going to finally. Yeah, sorry.
No.
I was just going to say it'd be interesting to see if Humberto signs, but I'm assuming he will because his contract ran at the same time. But yeah.
And then finally, too, the other thing I have is I like that they're finally going to do some more different Ring of Honor tapings, not piggybacking off of AEW or doing a Universal taping. They're actually taping in Texas pretty soon.
Oh, good. Maybe when I go on July 31st to Dynamite and Rampage in Greenville, they won't try to tape 10 Ring of Honor matches, a couple before and 8 after, because I'm not sticking around for that till midnight. It's not happening. I didn't last time, and I'm not going to do this time.
Hoping not. I just wanted to also have a different look too as a viewer, and when it just looks like Sunday Night Heat or the Jack would look like because they're in the same Raw arena, just with different Trons and stuff. It just seems too much the same.
Yeah,
I'll say in Mansoor, by the way, for that.
Yeah. I just want them to put some effort and see that they care about having Ring of Honor as a brand or a product. But yeah, probably off the back of that, there's 2 things that came to mind that are kind of news. One would be interesting, so I don't know what they're going to do with it, and hopefully it might be a pay-per-view. But WWE is trademarked, filed a trademark for WCW Super Brawl. So I don't know or Super Brawl, so I don't know if they're going to bring back that pay-per-view as a WWE brand thing, or I'm hoping it's not like how they did Starrcade and it was just a stupid just a house show.
But I mean, it could just be another NXT thing. They'll call something Super Brawl because they just because they do the Bash, like the Great American Bash. It's NXT. This Heatwave thing was the ECW thing.
Too, people assume an actual show, but it really could just be a merch thing. There's a few different reasons they could do it here. I've heard they've trademarked a couple of WWE names, but people are kind of wondering, what's going on. But I will see. It really could mean nothing, or could mean something big. Who knows? I think the trademark thing sometimes gets overblown, and it's very hard to tell, what exactly does it mean.
Yeah, and the other thing is, it wouldn't mean much to people. I don't know much Ring of Honor, but I think they've announced the first match. They've announced the first match for Death Before Dishonor, which is Billy Starks defending her TV title against Red Velvet. So there you
go. Who's Red Velvet?
Red Velvet just returned to AEW TV.
Yeah,
she's been around. She even has an action figure.
She has an action figure. She's engaged to West Briscoe.
Sky Blue, Red Velvet, Green Monster. I don't know who all these people are. Right. Sure.
Introducing green chili.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Purple haze. I don't know.
I guess
They're all in a stable called the Rainbow Connection.
Yeah.
I mean, and I guess this is sort of news coming out from AEW is that, like, obviously, well, Ospreay's not with the Callis family anymore, but it was a weird way they did it. It's like, I don't like the violent stuff. Okay, and I think he took Kyle Fletcher with him.
Oh, but you don't get your friend back.
So yeah, there you go. I thought it would be more dramatic than that. I thought like John Callis was going to try to turn on him, but yeah, it's like,
there's got to be more. I would imagine it's got to be.
Yeah, it can't just be. Oh, you didn't want to use the screwdriver? Yeah, no problem. Have a lovely career. All right, bye.
I'm taking my friend with me.
You know, no problem. No hard feelings. Moving on. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. But, all right. Anything else, or do we want to jump into
I think everything else is just like, related to Money in the Bank as far as WWE goes. So we can just talk about it as we're talking Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Sounds
Anything
good.
else is like rumors or speculation or maybe
not a whole lot of hard news.
or like maybe upcoming what we think is like debuts might coming up. So what I mean, like Ricochet and Digest. Like just speculation about where they're going, but it's not news or anything.
Yeah. All right.
No, I read a fun little clickbait article earlier about Ricochet, how they were like, rumor is he might be coming at some point, maybe. That was like the entire article.
Down the line, we don't have a date. Fun. Thanks for cooking.
At some point, eventually.
There's talks, there's rumors that there's a possibility. Thanks for reading.
and he's on the poster here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this was funny too. Yeah, this is an early graphic made by WWE. You can find it on their website with several people that aren't on the show. Bailey not on the show. Bianca not on the show.
AJ.
Is AJ on
Yeah.
No, but yeah, Ricochet not even with the company.
Miz not on the show.
So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought Miz not there. So yeah, I just kind of thought that was funny. But yeah, Money in the Bank is Saturday, July 6th, coming from I believe Toronto. Yeah, you can see the top left there, Toronto. We got a 6-man tag here. We got the Bloodline. I'll double check and see if they get more specific as to who in the Bloodline.
I'm pretty sure they did get specific. Isn't it everybody but Solo, like the other guy, the muscle, essentially?
I think it's everybody but Jacob Fatu, because Jacob Fatu can't.
Or is it not Jacob Fatu?
Because Jacob Fatu can't go to Canada because of convictions and shit.
Legal issues?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in the graphic.
Interesting.
They threw him in the graphic there.
I know, but I think it's confirmed that he's unless he's not going to be there and then he shows up. But I think it's Solo and the Girls of Destiny.
Girls of Destiny. Okay, yeah, it might be.
I'll just check and see. According to I don't know. Wikipedia still has it listed as anybody, so really it's kind of up to your discretion.
Is it a Freebird rule situation with the Bloodline? Can they just put anybody in there?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't feel like they've ever you literally both of you just said different things, and I also feel like they've never really specified as to what exactly it is. So take it as that. It's 3 members of the Bloodline. Maybe they'll even somehow goat them into a handicap. Just throwing that out there as a guess. But yeah, Tama Tonga, Loa, Silzakoa, Jacob Fatu, some form of that, taking on Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes, and Randy Orton. So kind of a weird match for date, but Jacob, what you thinking?
Yeah, I think we're gonna see the string of Randy Orton losing at premium live events continue. Have a good time, Brian.
Good time. That sounds so cool.
I think we see Randy Orton continue to lose at premium live events. It just kind of seems to be the road that he's on right now, because I don't see how you introduce this new version of the Bloodline and then their first big match they lose.
Nexus. That's happened before.
but under the Triple H
regime, I know.
It's a little different. Yeah, without Vince in control, we can get things that make sense. So no, I do think, I don't think Cody's going to be involved in the decision. However, if he is, I think it leads to whoever faces him at SummerSlam. So maybe Solo does get the pin over Cody, and that's how we get to a Cody Solo title SummerSlam or whatever. But yeah, either way, I think the Bloodline is taking this one.
All right, we got one for the Bloodline. Yeah, I did check on the site. It does not specify even.com as to who it exactly is. Pez.
Yeah, no, I think also, yeah, I'm probably gonna go with the Bloodline. I think you're gonna want to have them go over a little strong here, really showcase the Gorillas, and yeah, I would like to see Jacob Fatu be in there and look strong and get some stuff, but they may not be ready to use him just quite yet. Yeah, they'll throw Solo in there, but yeah, it looks like they're pushing towards Cody and Solo at SummerSlam, so maybe they'll even let Solo get something over Cody here, just to kind of start pushing that. And yeah, either that or Kevin Owens, as usual, just takes the pin. We'll see. But regardless, I'll still go with the Bloodline. I'm interested to see if they do what they did in the other match and turn this into like a no DQ situation, or if it just ends up being kind of more of a straight 6-man tag. We'll see. But regardless, I'll go with the Bloodline.
Yeah, of course, if anything changes on SmackDown, we can always, talk to each other in the private chat. And if we
Right.
want to kind of change our vote, that they can.
It very, very much could, because we still have a SmackDown to go. If it breaks down and he tells them it's going to be a street fight or something, or some kind of stipulation, who knows?
Some shenanigans. Richie, what you thinking?
Yeah, I'll say like one of these days, I hope like maybe Kevin Owens gets out of the upper mid card. He's always in that upper mid card where he's always the fall guy to get pinned a lot. I mean, Randy Orton's been taking that position lately, but like it has been Kevin Owens for a long time. I've seen some tag matches. Yeah, I'm going to go Bloodline here because I think they got momentum, and you want to keep them looking strong. And I think Solo pins Cody Rhodes too, so I think you want to make him look really strong as a challenger. Yeah, I still think. I mean, it was it's a sort of a understandable issue, concern that they had. I still think maybe Fatu might it has a potential to outshine Solo as far as like being more menacing and he's just a better wrestler. I don't know. I'm hoping that it doesn't, and that they can I think the booking style has been good, but yeah, I think Jacob Fatu just got that more menacing kind of presence, but like but yeah, I'm hoping I would say Solo gets a pin, but pinning Cody. So.
I think it's too early for this, Brian. I get where you're going, but they're more long term than this. I don't think Roman just shows up at the end of the show and then they said it's too early for Roman and Solo to have a one-on-one match. Way too early for that.
I think Roman and Solo's at WrestleMania.
Yeah, they're going to hold off on that for a little while because they're both the heads of the bloodline or whatever. So, and I think if Roman shows up, it'll be at SummerSlam, not at Money in the Bank. So.
Yeah, we'll see. It's interesting. Regardless, though, I'm definitely with you guys. But no, and one thing to kind of counter Richie real quick too is I think that's why I think they've been very smart with the Solo booking of not making him kind of the monster anymore. He's the way more cooler, collected head of the table. Let Fatu be the monster here. So I think they've been smart in that because, like you said, Fatu might out-monster him. So yeah, fine, let him out-monster him. Let that no longer be kind of what Solo is anymore. He's now the head of the table, more cool, collective, and the talker even now of the group. Everyone else is kind of the more silent killers. This one I think is a bit tough because, I mean, we did see a version of this in a tag team match, with Kevin and Randy losing already to Bloodline. So do we do that again now in a 6-man? I gotta say yes with you guys because, again, just, whether Fatu's on the outside or not, or even not there, do you want Bloodline to kind of lose momentum? I don't think you do. And, if you do have potential Solo versus Cody, which organically is a good match and a good way to go with Cody, then yeah, it does make sense just to put Bloodline over. So Bloodline, I will agree, and I think that's kind of a clean sweep for our new tribal chief and his crazy friends.
I do not acknowledge him as my tribal chief.
We didn't even talk about that. We have Paul Heyman.
You heard that?
That was a good. Paul Heyman is.
Yeah, no. Brian just brought up that. Yeah, what happened to Paul Heyman get put through the table? Which again, we talked about it a little bit, but props to Paul Heyman for looking like he stayed up for 48 hours straight before that thing. His bloodshot eyes and looked really weathered. Yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised if Paul just committing to the bit. Woke up at Wednesday and just stayed awake till Friday night. just to look. Like shit. I mean, kind of pulled like Charlie Sheen did in Ferris Bueller, that sort of thing. I would not be surprised. But yeah, he's wondering if we'll get a new wise man. I don't know. I don't think so on that side. You don't need one because Solo's been talking a lot more lately. He's been the head guy. Paul Heyman will go off TV for a while and come back with Roman. You know what I mean? Whenever he does come back, he will bring him back and bring back his true tribal chief.
Maybe with the Usos. I'm curious. I'm curious if they do a Roman bloodline versus solo bloodline, who that fourth member could be.
I could
the
Sammy.
side.
They could bring Sammy back into it because that'd be
That's
interesting
true.
because it would make it more of an interesting thing with the history between Sammy and the Usos and obviously between Sammy and Roman, having to approach him to bring him back into the bloodline, so to speak. Make him another honorary.
You guys are right. I don't have anyone left in the blood, but I do have someone left who's an honorary Uso.
Yeah, right. I mean, it could make for an interesting match, especially for War Games. You know what I mean? Like when they eventually do the 4-on-4, like bringing him back into the fold. I think could be at least interesting storyline wise. You can stretch that out as well. At the uneasiness and all that kind of stuff. So it could work. We'll see.
Hey, speaking of the honorary Uso, he is defending the Intercontinental Championship against Braun Breaker. Pez, new champ, retaining. What you thinking?
This one, honestly, might be the hardest one to call. This whole Intercontinental run has been really difficult to call because if you recall, we all said Gable was going to take it on the last one, and Sammy retained again at the Clash. So, I don't know. Like we keep thinking they're going to pull it off him, and he keeps hanging on. Again, because I think eventually my thing about Sammy going to help the bloodline will come to fruition, and he doesn't need the title for that. But when they take it off him, I don't know. Braun, they're definitely pushing him like a star, which I like. But I don't know if they're going to pull the trigger on giving him the title just yet. I kind of think they'll set up like maybe a triple threat for SummerSlam because he also has a thing with Sheamus going on. So didn't Braun spear the shit out of him like the other week or whatever, and they got kind of a thing going on. So they could set up eventually like a 3-way. I don't know. It's getting to the point where I kind of don't want to vote against Sammy at this point because I've been screwed so many times. So you know what? I'm going to say somehow Braun looks really good, but he kind of escapes with the title somehow. So I'll say Sammy, but I can see it going either way.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Pez is feeling Uso. Richie, you feeling Uso?
Not entirely sure. I'm 50% Uso. But I love Braun Breaker, and I love what they're doing. I think he's just such a star. He's he's picked it up so well. He is I don't know. He's gotten over so well very quickly. I love watching him work. I'll just say that. I could even see them. Apparently Ludwig Kaiser got hurt a bit during one of the segments recently, but depending if he's not hurt that bad, I actually see them probably. I don't know, at SummerSlam, maybe do a fatal 4-way with them involved and Sheamus. So it's hard because he was involved in that thing too. So, and I've really been liking his work as well. I can see them doing a thing where Sammy eventually loses without getting pinned, so he has an excuse to go back to it again for the chase the title again eventually. So. Because there's part of me that wants to go Braun because I really love it and he's a great Intercontinental Champion, but I've learned not to bet against Sammy at this point, so I'll go Sammy.
All right. We got two saying the Uso, one retains. What does JPL think? JPL's actually going to go against Reign. I'm going to say, and it didn't work out last time. Sooner or later it's got to work, right? Clock is
right.
Twice a day,
yeah.
Broken. I'm going to say Braun Breaker takes it. I know we're not necessarily at the point where Sammy needs to involve himself in the bloodline storyline, so that doesn't play into it too much. But I don't know why kill the momentum now. Braun's kind of a dude that I think kind of just needs to steamroll through people. So if he loses here, you could obviously do a kind of quick roll up, a schoolboy type thing. I don't see a strong win by Sammy. If it is, I think it's going to be one of those. But I don't know. I think let's Braun break it. Let's have some fun. Going ahead, this will probably be the only title change I think that will happen. So I'm going to say Sammy takes it. Barber, what you think?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you, JPO, and I think Braun takes this. Yeah, I think it is difficult though because we all thought Chad Gable was taking it at the last pay-per-view, and they kept it on Sammy. But I think Braun is just on such a roll. I think they're booking him, as this monster, and they're just booking him so strong that, I think a loss, even if it isn't a just a roll up or whatever by Sammy. I think it could just, I don't know, like it could kind of derail him a little bit, not too much, but I also don't think Sammy needed the Intercontinental title. I thought, he just gets moment after moment, and it's like let's let somebody else have a moment, Sammy. Let's give somebody else a moment. Let's give Braun a moment, and you give him a big title win. And so, yeah, I'm gonna go Braun, and if I'm wrong, I won't be surprised.
We split.
Fun split. That's fun when that happens here. A couple of us who think Sammy's going to retain. A couple think we got a new champion, Steiner Jr.
The only nitpick I'll say is not every big man needs a spear. I'll say that. Yeah, they've been doing the spear too often.
The spear looks nice though.
I know it does, but like you don't need it. Not every big guy needs to do a spear. Just every big guy generally does a spear. Anyway, but yeah, sorry.
You said that 3 times now. We got you.
And not even big guy needs a spear. No, I'm done.
Damian Priest defends the World Heavyweight Championship against Seth Rollins. Now, feel free to speak, Richie.
Damian should use a spear.
No,
Richie.
But not every big man needs a spear.
I don't feel like talking now. No, I'll go. This is actually tough. Like if Seth didn't put that prediction in place, where if like Seth wins and Damian has to leave the Judgment Day, I'd be like, then I'd be like, it's more clear cut. I think Damian wins, but he did, and then because he'd been teasing dissension in Judgment Day for ages, and it would go with the whole idea of the whole Judgment Day is disintegrated since Rhea left. That. All right. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. But
hey, JPO, you're on twice.
Hey, JPO. So yeah, but then personally, I wouldn't want Seth to just be injured and then just come back and win something. You know what I mean? I'm not like that. So I'll go. I'll say Damian, but I'm not 100% confident. I'll say Damian.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's every match on this night, rather. I will give credit that this isn't like Backlash or some of the other events where it's like I am sold. I will bet my left nut that this guy wins because that's the story. None of my nuts are on the line because I'm not like 100% on anything tonight on this night because I do think there's a world definitely where Seth wins, but I think Damian. Like you said, you've got the kind of the whole, like, he'll have to leave Judgment Day. I don't see that happening. And I like Damian's kind of recent story of, I'm going to prove that I'm not a transitional / paper champ. People thought it was going to be a brief win. I proved them wrong when I defeated, Jey Uso. People thought I, wouldn't get through Drew. I got through Drew. So I think he's going to get through another big challenger in Seth and add to his list here. You know what I mean? Seth can take the loss because, he's coming off of being the previous World Heavyweight Champion, technically, as far as like a lengthy reign, skipping over Drew's, 5 minutes. So this is going to be a nice little check off for Damian. Whether he keeps it much longer than this SummerSlam, wink, wink, I don't know. But I think he keeps it here tonight. Jacob, what you got?
Yeah, I am, sold on a Damian Priest, Gunther match at SummerSlam. I think it could be a good match, but this might be me going, what I want versus what I think could happen because I wanted Seth and Gunther at WrestleMania. That's the match I wanted. And now there's a good possibility that we could get it at SummerSlam. I'm going to keep that hope alive. I want Seth versus Gunther. So I'm going to say that Seth gets the title here. Would be the first time he returned from injury and won the title in his first match back. And yeah, I think Seth versus Gunther is just a little bit more appealing than Damian Priest versus Gunther, at least for me personally. And then I think we could also, I don't know if it would be too early to get a Finn versus Damian at SummerSlam, or if they want to save that for later on down the road. But I think that could be another big sort of non-title match for SummerSlam, because I think fans are invested in that storyline as well. There's a fly in my house. But yeah, no, I'm gonna go Seth.
All right, we got to split off on there. Bez, what you thinking? Damian and Seth.
No, I want Meat Madness at SummerSlam, so I want Damian and Gunther to beat the shit out of each other. that's what I want, because Damian, what we got of Damian and Drew was actually pretty fun with them beating the hell out of each other at the Clash, and other than they had to divert a little bit because of the leg in the ropes incident.
Let's make sure the ropes are tight enough this time.
Yeah. So, but I want Damian and Gunther to smack each other around at SummerSlam, and I think it's just too soon to like put it back on Seth, like after he had that pretty damn lengthy run. Maybe JPO can look it up and remind me how long his run as World Heavyweight Champion was. It was pretty lengthy. I remember. Right? Yeah, it was a while. I mean, I just think it's too early for that, so I'm gonna stick with Damian.
No, I mean the man nearly reached the calendar. He got 316 days as champ. You know what I mean? So I mean, there's no qualms, and pretty decently as well. 12 defenses within that time frame. It's about once a month, give or take.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I mean. That's kind of what I was saying too. As much as I actually agree with Jacob in the match that sells me a little bit more is Rollins and Gunther, but again, I think kind of the story and like who can help with the title. I think it's giving another notch to Priest here. So there's some hope though that freaking man will walk away with the title. The three of us.
I'm just saying, the last time I went against you three in a world title match, it went my way. So I'm hoping that lightning can strike twice.
I need to win. I need to win one of these. Damn it! I'm going up in low.
Well, then you better change some shit because we're the same so far, Richie. So
no, we'll get to the money. Hopefully, the money.
We'll get to the money in the bank. I think the men's one especially is pretty up in the air as far as who can win that one. So we'll see. Yeah.
We got the women's though coming up next on my graphics here. We got Io Sky, Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi Zoe Stark, and Chelsea Green. That's a good one here. I mean, I enjoy who made the match. I actually like that Bianca and Jade aren't in it. I actually like who they picked. So I'm cool with that. I think there's some possibilities here. I mean, I think a fun win from Naomi might be cool. If you want to make a superstar of Zoe, that might be kind of cool. Tiffany, I think, is a real possibility here. Have the most fun with it. That I think could have fun and maybe even some failings, some hopefully success. One success. Give it to my girl, Chelsea Green. I want to see win this briefcase. I think she could have so much fun with this thing over the next year. Like I said, I could see her definitely being the one that it doesn't always work out. Then finally maybe getting that one moment here because I think she has been a game player and you want to have fun with this briefcase sometimes. So I'm gonna say Chelsea Green. Barber, which one of these 6 talented, beautiful women are going to walk away with the Money in the Bank briefcase?
Yeah, like you said, I think any one of these 6 women could be a good, Money in the Bank holder. But I thought I was going to be alone in this.
Oh, fuck me!
I'm going Chelsea Green. I think that could be a lot of fun. I think it could be one of those fluke things too, where there's 2 or 3 women fighting for it at the top, and they get it off, and it falls down, and she just kind of picks it up and is like, "Oh, hey, look what I got," and that's how she wins. I think she's just highly entertaining. I think she can do some good in-ring work when given the chance. I think she could be a fun champion down the road. If they don't screw her out of the briefcase in some way. I think she's just highly entertaining, and I think she deserves, a big moment here. So yeah, let's give it to Chelsea Green.
Pez, join us.
Nope. For me, it's Tiffy time. Let's go, Tiffany Stratton, taking this thing. I think she's got the charisma. The crowd is kind of with her, even though she's basically still kind of playing a heel. They're into the character. They're into her in general, and this would give her something to do. I think in the meantime, where you don't have to rush to put a title on her. Like we talked about at Elimination Chamber and whatnot. She's not quite ready for the title, but give it a couple months down the line, she cashes in, and makes a big splash, eventually. No, I'm gonna disagree with you guys and say it's Tiffy time.
She is my second choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say she would be second place for me. Richie, Tiffy time, Green. It sounded like you might have been with Green originally.
Yeah. I thought I was going to be unique and say, oh, you know what, Chelsea Green. I think it's her time, but no, I'm not going to go there now because that's too samey for you. I thought I was unique. This is bullshit.
It would still be different from me, so we've all been the same. You would still be different from me, so we still have different stuff right now.
At this point, Tiffy was my second one, so I'm just going to be the same with you. It's Tiffy time.
Well, now you're going to be the same. So we're going to tie. You're going to keep agreeing with me. You could do the Chelsea thing and break out.
See, what he's doing is he knows that you have been winning some predictions. So if he just agrees with you, he has a good chance of at least tying.
At least I can tie with you. Yeah, it's Tiffy time.
Okay, fine.
Your logic makes no sense other than you just trying to cheat. But all right, cool.
No, it's Tiffy time. That's my logic. It's Tiffy time.
Yeah, whatever. Dan Skip Allen. So we got a couple saying Chelsea Green, and a couple saying
the Rotten Tomatoes says that it's Tiffy time.
The men's Money in the Bank match is on the line. Barber, you got L.A. Knight, Drew McIntyre, Carmelo Hayes. We got Chad Gable, Jey Uso, and Andrade. No longer Almas. What are you thinking?
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, I love his in-ring work, but I think Andrade is just here to, have a good match and
how
have
dare
some
you
good
slap
spots.
the current speed champion?
I mean, he's already got a title. He doesn't need another one. I think Carmelo could be a fun pick. Kind of a new guy to the main roster at least. Drew, I don't think Drew needs it. I think his program with CM Punk is enough. So it really comes down to these other three. Unfortunately, I think Logan Paul might screw LA Knight out of it. So for me, really, it comes down to Chad Gable and Jey Uso, who have kind of been. We saw them cut a promo on Monday before the Wyatt Six got involved. So man, I think Chad is just doing some really good work. I think Jay is just so over with the crowd though. I'm gonna go Chad Gable.
Got one for Chadscape, Pezscape. What you got, Scape?
I predict a lot of shenanigans in this match. I think there's going to be a lot of people interfering and whatnot and trying to screw other people out of getting the briefcase. I could see Logan Paul interfering with LA Knight. I could see CM Punk obviously getting involved to maybe tip a ladder over with Drew on top of it. Chad and Jay getting into shenanigans. And while all that is happening, guys, Carmelo Hayes will climb the ladder and get that goddamn briefcase, and the Dark Horse will take this one. I think they're high on this dude. He's amazing in the ring. He's a bad guy, which you always want a bad guy sometimes to have the briefcase and run around with it for a little while. I'm going to take the super Dark Horse on this one and say Carmelo sneaks out the back door amongst all the shenanigans and grabs the briefcase.
All right. So far, Richie, you got a third option? It's one of their options?
Well, you're putting me in a weird position again now.
Unless you want to pay
no, just because I had this idea, okay, where look, I was on the same wavelength. I think, so you've got like LA Knight and Road and a few with Logan Paul. I think that will be, I think that will weave into this match. Drew McIntyre, I think will get screwed by CM Punk again. CM Punk will be in Toronto. I'm sure there'll be like on the dirt sheets. There'll be sort of, hey, CM Punk spotted in Toronto, and I guess what, you got, I mean, Jay's not really, he's not fully in the future. I don't know, maybe.
I think he's going to be busy with the damn bloodline shit. He doesn't need the briefcase. Like, he just doesn't need it.
Not just now, though. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't think I agree with you, though. I don't think he needs a briefcase. That sort of leaves, and Chad, I think maybe the Wipes. I think it looks like he's going to win it looks like he's going to win, and then the lights will go out and White 6 music. So that leaves Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. I don't know if that high on Andrade. You know what? Whatever. I'm gonna go Andrade. Why not?
All right. So, in order, Andrade has no fucking chance. That's my first play. I'm sorry.
Well, you're but Richie, your pick's locked in. All right, so JPO, what you got?
I think he's the Dante Martin Phantasmo, like, and then the TNT one where it's like he's probably gonna do some cool shit. We're glad you're back with the company, so we're gonna give you a nice important match. This is probably his biggest match, right? Well, I guess he had the Mania match, which wasn't too bad, but outside of that, this is his biggest match as a solo guy. Glad you're here. You're gonna do some cool shit. You're not gonna win. I just don't see his presence going from not much to speed champion to Money in the Bank.
Yeah, that was a speed.
I could be wrong though.
He was the speed champion. You could.
I could be wrong though.
And
then everyone else, as has been said, a lot of shenanigans. You got Punk. Hell, I'm not the only one. I'm not the first person to say this online. Maybe AJ Lee fucks over Drew this time. All right, let's have some fun. You know what I mean? He's got the bracelet now. That kind of involves her. LA Knight's got Logan Paul. Jay might have the bloodline, so they might not necessarily be in this match, but he's got kind of something coming up. And let's not forget, Chad's fighting those spooky white sixes. I think some spooky shit's going to happen. I think Chad's going to get taken out halfway through this match and, either get chased off or, like abducted or something. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think we're going to not see the white six on Saturday. That leaves our boy Hayes. I think he's, again, Les Pez said, good heel to have it. Potentially hopping in on Cody could be fun, for the next few months, if, whenever Cody drops it. And yeah, it could be one of those guys that, could bide his time 6 months, 7 months, or 2 months, 3 months, whatever the case is. So I'm going to go to him, Carmelo Hayes, as well, walking away with the briefcase. So definitely a little split here with 6 men. We got some love to Chad, some love to Andrade. Where
you say that?
I said Carmelo.
It's locked in. It's on my paper. It says Andrade for Richie. You said it. It's on the paper. It's locked in. So
it was good winning.
I mean, there's a possibility. More dark horses have won it before that have been like pushed even less than him. I just usually not though. So I don't know.
It was good winning predictions about that. Yeah.
I wouldn't hate it. Like I said, and let's more like weirder people have won it. It's like, oh shit, him, okay. But
I'm looking forward to Chad Gable getting murdered and then and coming back on Raw with a band-aid on his head.
Well, technically, we have all still the same other ones, Richie. So if nobody wins that one, let's say Jey Uso or Drew takes it, we're all wrong. We still tie. We get all the other ones right. So it still could happen.
That's true too. There's 2 matches. There's 2 matches with picks that none of us took. So
yeah. All right. There we go.
All right, we'll see what.
That's how they got so far as those 5.
I guess Triple H is the 5-match king, so I don't imagine them. I guess unless they announce something last minute on SmackDown, like you said, I don't know.
It is a premium live event that's outside of the United States, so we could see a tag title match on the kickoff between. With Candice LeRae and Indy getting that tag team title shot on the kickoff show. It's another outside of America.
No. I thought you meant like because
I was like, you got to tell Natalia.
they're doing DIY and the A-Town Down Under on SmackDown. Why couldn't this be on the pay-per-view? That would have been a cool match.
Because then it would be 6 matches.
No, that easily could be match 6. And it should be. Although I don't totally hate it on Rumble or Money in the Bank. At least 2 of these, both Money in the Bank matches would easily be 15 to 25. But I still wish they would at least hit 6.
Yeah, you got plenty of time. 3 hours. Do 6 matches. It's fine.
And I like that there's no, there's no women's championship matches because it will continue the trend now of the women's Money in the Bank winner at least holding it for a couple days before cashing it in.
Yeah, that's true.
Although there is a I mean, I guess it depends on what order it is on the show, but obviously the men's one, could cash in on a world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, I think your main event is either the men's Money in the Bank match or that 6-man tag.
Yeah.
Man.
Should we talk?
The Money in the Bank.
Well, it's kind of up in the air. So should we do a little opening match and maybe a main event prediction as well? Because this could go any way. I could see. So,
Yeah,
as a wild card. Tiebreaker.
Yeah. I mean, I think the opening will be the women's Money in the Bank.
Okay.
we're gonna have the same situation again. I'm like, good. Cool. Yeah, I was gonna go. Yeah, women's Money in the Bank, and then closer 6-man. But I think that's what Jacob's about to say.
Okay. Jacob, what do you say the man is?
I'm gonna go with the 6-man as the main.
Okay. I'll be different. I'll just say the two Money in the Banks open and close the show. So I'll say the women's opener, men's close.
All right.
JPO?
I'll go completely different.
Okay, sure.
I'll say IC title opens.
Okay.
And we end with men's bank.
Okay. All right. Well, there you
Okay.
go. Now, I mean, I could see any of them. I could see the Bloodline thing opening the show, like just to, especially if it turns into like a Street Fighter. Like if they do that on SmackDown, you have to let us know, JPO, because that could change it too, and it'd be like the other pay-per-view where that opens.
I won't know till like
show.
Saturday afternoon. I watch it on Hulu, so.
Yeah. But we'll see what happens. So I don't know.
Richie, what did you say?
He said
I said the exact same
he
as
said
you.
women's and then 6-man. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I said women's and then men's, and then JPO said IC and men's. So there you go.
All right, so we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens. It should be a good show. One that we won't have to wake up early for because it's just in Toronto. So a nice 5 p.m. show for me. 8 for you guys, or 7. I think it starts at 4. Just kidding.
7 4.
Not. I'm thinking AEW. Yeah. So. It should be a good show. I'm looking forward to watching it, seeing what happens. Yeah, seeing how many times there is interference in that men's Money in the Bank match. So hopefully they don't overdo it, but we'll see.
They could overbook that one and not have much interference in the women's one or any at all. But they could kind of. That's why I'm thinking maybe it's the main because they might have a lot of shenanigans going on, to get the crowd kind of going. So we'll see.
Overbooking ladder matches in TLC is kind of fun. I mean, I think they added to TLC too when Spike and Rhino.
Spike and Lita and Rhino, yeah, all the people kind of running out there and having a little fun. Like you could do that in ladder matches. It's fine.
Yeah, I think if done right, it doesn't seem like it's being overbooked.
Yeah, I don't mind JPO's idea of like the Wyatts getting involved early and just like removing Chad from the building, like altogether. Just disappearing Chad.
About halfway towards the last half, yeah. You know what I mean?
Or Uncle Howdy just climbs the ladder himself and takes the briefcase. Like, no, this is mine now.
Mine. Does a Brock Lesnar?
Hey, it wouldn't be the first time somebody not in the match has won.
But it could be like Chad.
Right,
It could be Chad climbing the ladder, and then the lights go out, and then he's just gone, like with the music, and then like he just disappears, and we never see him again. It's just like where'd Chad go?
Better like it pops back on, and there's Howdy, and he does something to him,
And then you find out on the dirt sheets later that Chad was supposed to win, and then Uncle Howdy pulled rank again, like Brock Lesnar did. But no,
that gives Michael Cole a VHS tape.
Yeah, they've been interesting. They're definitely baby faces.
They're getting the cheers.
They're murderous baby faces. We love them when they murder people. It's great.
Yeah, well, obviously they're not doing a very good job of murdering people because Chad Gable came back the very next week.
Yeah, he just had a bandage on. It's like, that was a boo-boo, and he won the match. He won the match he was in.
Hey, Band-Aids fix everything, Richie. They have really good Band-Aids in WWE.
And I felt bad for Bronson Reed. He was up the top of he was on Chad was on the turnbuckle for it felt like half an hour. Hit a moonsault and still won. It's like, okay, fair enough. Approximately what I mean in this match, but go.
Torn quads, out for months. Torn pec, out for months. Shot in the head.
Get fucking.
I'll be back next week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you just pull the bullet out and then you're fine. No big
Yeah.
deal.
I mean,
As long as you don't bleed
It's
out.
not a broken bone. You just pop that bad boy out and just get back to work. No big deal.
Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't hit the brain, you're good.
yeah.
So,
There's some people living at the moment with bullets that's still in their heads because it didn't hit, they can't remove it. So it's just
There was a guy who had a piece of rebar go through his head and he fucking walked to the hospital. Weird things can happen. They just,
you just watch, like, can somebody help me with this?
yeah, headshot doesn't necessarily mean you're dead.
Yeah, Mondays, right? I know.
Yeah.
Sir, what happened? You wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys are going to move on to Forbidden Door, the 15 match card. I think
We're talking about every match.
14.
14.
there's
15.
Oh, you mean the one we didn't predict, which was Kyle Fletcher and Serpentico. That classic.
Oh, they did do a 15.
Yeah,
They did
it's
15 because Kyle Fletcher and Serpentico that
Yeah.
that they added last second.
I forgot I thought they were at 13, so I was doing 14, but they were at 14. I forgot.
And they did 15, yeah.
because 14
Five and a
would
half
have been
hour show.
acceptable.
Yeah, 14 was fine. No big deal.
But
An extra 3-minute match, too much.
I feel like some people don't even know it existed because I saw someone review it and they're like the first pre-show match, and they just went to Malachi Black, and I'm like, it's not the first pre-show match.
But
Because they did it
unfortunately,
before 7. It was like 6:45. They rushed them out.
oh wow, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, I just wasn't able to watch the show. So I was in Florida on business. No, I was in Florida having a good time. So I am going to leave it to these three to review the show for you guys. But I will be back next week because I definitely will be watching Money in the Bank. So I will see you guys next week. Enjoy their Forbidden Door review. I'm just going to go ahead and say thank you guys for watching. Brian, thank you for watching live. If anyone else is watching live, thank you. If you're watching on the replay, thank you. I'll be back next week. So, Pez, JPL, Richie, take it away.
Bye, Jacob. Love you.
Bye, buddy. And stick around, even if you're not interested in Forbidden Door. I will reveal. Jacob still has a prediction in the bank, if you will. He hasn't quite thought about it. So, JPO and I tied. Here on Forbidden Door, so we both tied. He had the early lead and it kind of trailed off a little bit, but we ended up tying. So we each have one. I have an idea I told these guys about that I'll reveal kind of at the end of the show, and then JPO, you can take one of the subsequent weeks. We'll have a little break because we're getting these two pay-per-views kind of banged out, 1 week after another, and then we'll have some time until the next show. So we'll get that going. But yeah, let's talk a little Forbidden Door. Yeah, 15 matches, a lot there. We won't talk about every single match, I don't think, and every little minute detail. We can kind of breeze over a few of these. I'll run through a few, at least the pre-show results, and then if you guys want to talk about any of the pre-show stuff in particular, you can do so. So yeah, we had last-minute edition of Kyle Fletcher defeating Serpentico. Our next match after that was the.
I do want to just add, already chimed in. Kyle Fletcher did lose the Ring of Honor title, by the way.
That's right.
Atlantis. So yeah, so if you're wondering why he didn't come out with the title and he was billed as former TV champion, I think they do show a brief clip of it as well. I remember I was on the phone, so I personally paid half attention. I was like, former, when the fuck that happened? He lost to Atlantis in Mexico, so we'll see if Atlantis is hopefully on the next pay-per-view. I would hope so.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I'll say is it's cool that he's using El Generico's Brainbuster, same as Brainbuster, and of the turnbuckle Brainbuster thing.
It's just like a move.
Yeah, it's a finisher. So yeah.
I feel like that should be like a special occasion thing, like Sammy used to use for.
Well, to be fair, Sammy used to bump it out a lot more back in the day. It kind of was his finisher.
He used to tease it a lot. I feel like he didn't actually hit it a lot. Like he used to tease it all the time, but there's compilations where he hit it, but it's like he maybe hit it less than 10 times in his career. He teased it a lot. Like he didn't.
He definitely hit more than 10. I might be overdoing it. You're underdoing it.
I don't think I'm overdoing it that much. But yeah, we had a. We had a 4-way tag match. The House of Black coming out victorious against the teams of Ishii and Kyle O'Reilly, and then you had Roderick Strong and Gabe Kidd, and then Private Party defeating them by pinfall. Any quick thoughts on that one? I'll just gotta say, if anybody has any quick thoughts on these pre-show ones, just
no. I mean, yeah, these me and you got it wrong. I think we were ones that went for. Gabe Kidd and Roderick Strong. So I thought Gabe Kidd has like obviously momentum on his side because he's sort of the new guy in New Japan that's getting momentum. So I thought, I thought that, but yeah, no. But House of Black, you can never get. You should never.
I went
really
for
get
the signed guys that are actual tag team.
you know.
I didn't know if Roderick Strong should lose again. That's why I went with him. So
I think there's 4 teams too. I don't think they took the pin. I could be wrong, but there's 4 of them, and they did kind of tease that like Strong and Kidd couldn't really get along.
They weren't getting along. And Private Party were there because they're from the area, Long Island, and that's like, hey,
talented signed guys. I mean,
they're talented signed guys, but they're also in there because it's Long Island.
A little bit mean, I think.
You got the team of Willow Nightingale and Tom Nakano, kind of a Forbidden Door tag match here, defeating Chris Statlander and Momo Watanabe. Yeah, I mean, that was just kind of a one to keep the Willow Chris Statlander thing going. JPO was the one who called that one.
Maybe mispredict the Dynamite one, though, because I thought the other one would win on Dynamite, but no, Willow got 2-0 technically against Chris now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I actually think she's going to win the. I could see her winning the Owen Hart thing 2 years in a row. But actually, I mean, my money's on Mariah. We'll get to.
That would be pointless to me.
Yeah.
Mariah's the story that makes sense, and Will has needed twice.
Speaking of the Owen Hart thing, I guess the just the only other news thing came out of that. Hangman Page was the wild card, as some people predicted.
Yeah, I thought that was very predictable.
Yeah.
Hey,
but
AEW, if you have a wild card, don't show a vignette of them the week before, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, and if you want to maybe I don't know, don't build up someone that's like who we all want to win when it's like and then you show some guys like, now Jeff Jarrett's not winning. Okay, cool.
Even though everybody after that promo wanted Jeff Jarrett to win, because they're like, oh, he was friends with Owen Hart. That's right, let him win the whole thing, and then he just loses to Hangman Page. So. That's sad. So yeah, in a speaking of the Owen Hart tournament opening round match, Mariah May defeated Saraya to move on.
The only thing I'll say about I know Saraya's sort of protecting herself because obviously she came back from a career, threatening on ending injury at the time, but she really does and she sort of wrestles part time, but she really doesn't take she doesn't really do a lot of offense in her matches. It's very I counted maybe 2 moves actual wrestling that she did. It's very kind of a punch kicky sort of Irish whip you into the turnbuckle on the outside type of affair with Mariah sort of taking a lot of the match, which serves a purpose, but I just feel it's not definitely not the Saraya of old. I guess it's just I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting, but I kind of I miss having the back and forth kind of match. But I don't think Saraya is just being cautious and can't do the whole move for move kind of thing. But I kind of 2 actual moves she did. But the finish is pretty cool. But I like her and Harley Cameron as a. Saraya and Harley Cameron's a thing. They're entertaining.
Who do you guys think is going to win the women's tournament? Who are your predictions?
Mariah May, I think.
JPO?
And at this point, Mariah.
Okay. You take the whole thing. All right. And then we closed out the pre-show, a very long pre-show. So I'm sure JPO was happy that there was a lot of pre-show. You got an extra pre-show tonight. The Lucha Brothers and Mystico defeated basically the Japanese team of Yoto Tsuji, Titan, and Hiromu Takahashi. Probably the best match of the pre-show, just a kind of a big showcase. But again, it was you look at some of these matches and go, that probably could have been a Dynamite match, Rampage main event. collision main event, something like that. Do we need all of these? Maybe, maybe not. You certainly get your money's worth if you're an AEW fan. He gives you everything, but I mean, it was
certainly get your YouTube pre-show worth.
I know, yeah. If you're tuning in just for that, as opposed to back in the day, if you tuned into like Sunday Night Heat, you might get like a cruiserweight title match or some kind of like a European title match, something like that to whet your appetite, near the end of the show. That's all you get.
This was definitely I really liked it. It was entertaining, but it's definitely your Lucha Brothers. Like, you remember like Lucha Brothers early on in AEW, like 2019, where it's like, oh, Lucha Brothers don't tag much, do they? Like, I mean, they don't tag in much. Like, it was just very much. I forgot who the legal guy was.
It was under Trios Lucha rules, I think.
Trios
so
they rules. Okay, yeah. Yeah. I guess my brain was very confused because there was a lot of trios matches on this card, so I'm like, man.
Yeah, there was like 3 or 4 like trios.
Yeah, like, man, sometimes my brain just like, man, you know what? I just want to count things down for the normal tag matches from my brain sometimes. But yeah, it's
3 trios matches when one of them I think could have been just a tag match. I would have just had the Young Bucks and the Acclaim just be a tag match.
Yeah, I feel like they just wanted the optics of Tanahashi and Okada in the ring together.
Yeah. And then we kicked off the actual show with that why I predicted it, at the beginning of our little watch along. MJF, if he's not in the main event, he likes to be the opener because he opened up for Cesaro.
Then he can go home.
And then he can go home, because he opened up the show, and again looked pretty good. This was obviously pre-heel turn, to follow up on Dynamite, but he looked pretty good here and put in a hard match, even though none of us thought Cesaro had a chance in hell of winning this damn thing. But anybody got any quick thoughts on MJF here? I mean, it's kind of sort of a moot point now that we've got the heel turn, a few days later, and we're just moving on to other things. But
it was a good match. It's like the result wasn't in any debate. It's cool he sort of mixed up his moveset. It's interesting that while I thought that the Adam Cole they've put like a pin in that Adam Cole feud, he did the Panama Sunrise at the end there, and then I guess his new finish is a Brainbuster. So it's gonna go. There was. I feel like at times, MJF was getting very John Cena. There was times where he was calling spots quite loudly. I was like, especially when he went for the Brainbuster. I could go Brainbuster. I could audibly.
He's just, he's taking after his heroes. Doing his thing.
Yeah. So, but no,
maybe he's just one of those guys that calls his finish, for the audience before he does his finish. Anybody remember JPO the early days of Ring of Honor with Quiet Storm, Cradle, Driver, and then the commentator would go, I think he's going for the Storm Cradle Driver. Dave Fraser, yeah, I think he is. So you can yell it out. Why not?
Yeah. But then when they hit the double, the double clothesline when they both hit each other, you could hear it. So I could hear him go double clothesline, and everyone knew that. And then they even replayed it with the audio. But that's just I wouldn't notice all that if it wasn't like Botchamania with the whole "you talk too much" segment. But it was a good match. It was a good fun match. To open the show. MJF massively over as he should be. So that was fun. Nothing.
We had our second trios match with the Elite, basically the Young Bucks and Okada taking out the Acclaimed and Tanahashi. I don't remember a whole lot about this one. We were bullshitting with August at the time on the stream, FIP champion. August on our watch along. So
FIP current world champion
August Artois, and was talking shit about the Bucks the whole time. So that was more shit in that than watching the actual match. So I don't remember a ton of this. They didn't do anything like super super nutty. Yeah, it was more just about Okada and Tanahashi having a little face off, but I don't remember a whole lot about this. So unless anybody it didn't have a whole lot of. This is again another one. I thought you could have cut this match and you would have been okay. This is one of those you could have cut off the show. I don't think it would have hurt.
Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
You could have had Okada versus Tanahashi for the title, because again, this is 2 months in a row now. We've had no Continental title and no tag titles, or just go ahead and do, the Bucks versus one of the many New Japan guys that aren't on the show again. You know what I mean? Or Dude versus the Acclaim. Like, it's not very Forbidden Door, but then save that. I felt like this was another Dynamite, to match. You know what I mean? On pay per view now. On pay per view, we have trios matches. So yeah, it was just fun.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they're probably going to do Young Bucks and Acclaimed it all in, but yeah, I get what you mean. Though. I get it. Yeah, no, you won't miss him much. I will say that Okada's very charismatic. He can be very. I mean, it's a point in the show. Him and like Mishikawa, they're very charismatic without obviously having they don't have to speak much to be a charismatic. He's just very good at the facials, just giving the finger to the crowd, just being very, looking very perturbed. I think he's doing a great job as a heel, although he'll never get fully booed because the fans and people respect him too much, so he gets cheered all the time a lot because he's great. So yeah, just one of those dichotomy things where it's like, you're a good heel, so we'll cheer you. Or you're a good worker, so cheer you. But it was a fun match. It was what you expect. Okada just pinned Tanahashi with the Rainmaker, and then Tanahashi was sort of selling him for a while, and then that was about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're giving this match much more than they gave this match. So let's move on. Because we had another Owen Hart Cup opening round match, and probably the best match of the show so far. Into it, Bryan Danielson defeating Shingo Takagi, who I'm a big fan of. I was happy to see him get a big showcase here. Again, sort of the Danielson, I guess, dream match, retirement tour kind of continues with this one. Does everybody else think he's probably going to win the Owen Hart tournament? Most likely.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm torn. I think it's I could see them doing, because the winner of the tournament gets a title shot at All In. So it could either be him or they might go. They might do the. I could see them going back to the Page Swerve feud. I prefer Bryan Danielson, but I could see them going back. Doing the Page Swerve thing as like a final chapter type deal. So. This match was great. I don't really have much. It's weird because this match was one of the best in the card. I don't have much to say about it. It was just great.
No, it was just like a really good, solid match. Like the guys, beat the hell out of each other. They did a bunch of submissions. Bryan Danielson sold his neck a lot. Like he was fighting for his life. He's a really good seller, and eventually won with the submission. Yeah, it was really good. I don't think anybody really thought Shingo had much of a chance of winning this one. Everybody's pretty at least Danielson getting to the finals. So any quick thoughts, JPO, or no? Good.
No, just the same thing as before. We knew it would be a good match, and it surpassed that expectation, or met that expectation rather. And right now I think he's kind of a forefront because I can't see who else. You put such big stakes on it. It's fun. There's stakes on it, but it also does keep making it where it's like, all right, it's definitely not going to be this guy. You know what I mean? Like, he could definitely knock off half the tournament. You know what I mean? Including even, Jared with his great, promo was like, cool. You're not going all in, though, so.
Yeah, definitely. So we moved on from that to our women's championship match. We had Toni Storm defeating Mina Shirakawa. And in another pretty good, like, hard fought match. Mariah May, I said on the stream, just sitting in that chair, having the same face that either Dominic Mysterio in the custody match, which is basically what it was. It was like, oh, this match is for the custody of Mariah May. Who used to have sex with Mariah May? I mean, wasn't that pretty much spelled out what this thing was? I mean, so that was kind of the story of the thing. But it was a good, hard-fought match. Toni Storm wins with her pile driver, and then, we think she's going to go with Toni, and they have a little stare-off, and they have a three-way kiss, and they just walk off together and decide to, forget all that. Let's just all, I guess, go backstage and have an orgy. Cool.
Well, there was like
That was good.
there's an AEW, there's a video they put on their I think there's socials where they're an arm in arm, but they're all grabbing each other's ass as well. So it's like, but yeah, no, I thought this match was really good. Yeah, it's the first time I've seen Shirakawa, and she's got tons of charisma. I thought she's great. Just so entertaining. She reminds me, in terms of charisma, she reminds me of Maki Ito. Just that instant connection with the crowd, just because of how entertaining she is. And yeah, she can work. Holy shit, she was good. But yeah, I never had any doubt that Johnny Storm was gonna lose here. But yeah, really solid. And yeah, it was basically I want you, and you can both have me. Yeah, this was almost like an HLA stipulation from 2002 2003. So, but yeah,
which reminds me of that. I pulled up the Raw with the Raw TLC match from Raw Roulette, and it opens with Eric Bischoff with the wheel, and one of the wheels slots was an HLA match. I don't know what that means, because what if two guys spin that? What does that mean?
Do they all just hire like lesbian representation, or do they have to dress up as lesbians?
Yeah, I don't know. They did have a Vegas Showgirls match with William Regal and Goldust both dressing up as Showgirls, and then wrestling each other.
My mind's blocked that out, but
yeah, that happening. I was fast forwarding through the show and I saw that and I went, "Oh yeah, that did happen."
It did happen. William Regal was a player; he would say yes to everything.
He would do anything. That's right. But anyways, we then had just a regular singles match. We had Zack Sabre Jr. Defeating Orange Cassidy, and again, another just like really solid match. Orange Cassidy has proven. That he can have pretty much great matches with anybody and doing his thing. It kind of was what it thought. Zack Sabre put him in a bunch of wacky pretzel submissions, stretched him out really good, and eventually just pulled every limb that Orange had for the win. He like hooked an arm, then he hooked a leg, then he hooked the other arm, then hooked another leg, pretzeled him up and made him tap out. But Sabre's one of those guys that he only comes in for these matches, but I'd like to see him have a few more matches here and there with some other guys on the roster. I think he, not that he needs to be like a full timer, but I'd like to see him have some more stuff.
Yeah. I'll let JPO. You want to? JPO.
You want next?
Yeah, did you? Yeah, I feel like I've been taking over the thing. Do you want to?
I was going to go to you first, JPO. If you had any thoughts on Sabre and Orange. Yeah.
No, it's a good match. Orange finally took an L, which is good. I think Sabre needed to be booked up a little bit more as well here. So, I kind of hope we see maybe a little more of Sabre on television. He has been one of those guys that has pretty much just, done the occasional match here and there in the Forbidden Door when it comes up. So, but good match. I dug it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm surprised that like all this time in his career that Zack Sabre hasn't won like the IWGP like heavyweight jam, but I guess, but then the main belt, but yeah, I guess that there's always time, but yeah, but I thought they given that the people that they've lost in Japan, I thought maybe they'd start building the company around him, but because he's still like one of their top guys, but yeah, and I feel like if AEW could, they would snatch him up to be part of their roster as well. So, but yeah, no, solid match, and yeah, he just got to a point where I can't. There's no way I can get. I literally have no way of getting out of this. I'm just gonna. He literally had to verbally
hold you up until you can't move anymore. That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it was. So we're going to have our final trios match, our third one of the show. Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata took on the Learning Tree with their kind of temporary partner Jeff Cobb in this match, stepping in. One of my takeaways of this is, can we please get Samoa Joe and Jeff Cobb in the ring for a little meat madness?
Me.
Great. Yeah, because they were in the ring together for like a minute, and I think the crowd like perked up and was like, "Ooh, two meaty guys beating on each other. This is great." And then it like ended, and they never squared off again, and it was pretty great. Like that seems like that could be a really good Dynamite or Collision match. Just let those guys wail on each other for 10 or 15 minutes. I'd really like to see that because I like Jeff Cobb a lot. I think he's really underrated. I think I've even drafted him once or twice. We've done kind of little drafts here and there. Yeah, he's really great. I don't know if they've ever squared up before. I don't know. I'm sure JPO could fact check me on that. If they've ever faced off anywhere, I don't think they have. But that'd be a fun match. I'd like to see it. Hook wins beats Jericho with his own Judas effect.
Which looks better than Jericho's Judas effect.
Yeah, it looked all right, but again, not a ton of super memorable stuff here. It was everybody kind of getting their stuff in and getting in and getting out. It was only it was a 14-minute match, a little longer than I thought it was, but yeah. Any quick thoughts about this one? I just want to see. My whole takeaway was this: I just want to see Joe and Jeff Cobb have a match.
And that would indeed be a first-time match outside of this 6-man tag. These two have never been in the ring together. Never, not in battle royals, 6-man tags, anything. This is the first time, and I agree. I had the same exact feeling when they were in the ring together. It was like this would be a fun singles match. Here's a weird match that does exist though that I've seen live WrestleMania weekend. Yeah. Cobb and Bobby Lashley. That was a fun one.
Okay. See that.
I've got a feeling that there's a possibility that this was a planned match, but I think Brian Keith is legit injured, so they had to go. Okay, who's going to be the so they just beat.
Well, they did do that little bit where they tried to get Minoru Suzuki, and he in Japanese basically told him to fuck off. That was pretty great.
Yeah,
because he's eventually.
I want your FTW title. Though.
Yeah, I know. He's like, no, I want to beat the hell out of you, Jericho, and take your FTW title. And he says, okay, Suzuki, bye. You played the wrong video. Okay. That was sort of like R2D2 Return of the Jedi. Like, no, you're playing the wrong message. Like, what are you doing? That was funny.
We could. So yeah, hopefully you do get that match down the line. The only another observation I have is I've always said this, like Jeff. I like the way Jeff Cobb's built because he looks different to any other. I mean, the similar. He's kind of built like Rhino in a way. Like just like
kind of, he's like a mix between Rhino and like Bronson Reed because he's a little shorter, but like he's like jacked, but he's not like a 7-foot giant. But he's like a mix of Rhino and Bronson. But that's why I like him. He's a good dude, super strong. So then we moved on to the ladder match for the TNT title. We had Jack Perry taking out Takeshita, Mark Briscoe, Dante Martin, Leo Rush, and El Phantasmo. Mark Briscoe did a couple of nutty things, including trying to stand on a ladder while it was on the apron, about to fall off the apron. That spot where it was like 2 inches from falling off the apron. I was scared for his life when he did that.
When he jumped off onto the ladder and missed.
Well, he didn't miss. He hit the table. The table.
The table didn't break.
Yeah, they just rolled off of it again. I don't know where they're getting the tables in AEW, but didn't we have one with Jericho that didn't break that FTW?
Yeah, that's from pay-per-view last time. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they're getting their tables from Japan, like what they're doing. But the ones that did break, remember when there was a spot where Takeshita did the Blue Thunder bomb onto those two tables, and they exploded. They exploded. That was ridiculous. Those tables blew up with dynamite. That was ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, lots of little crazy spots here and there, and yeah, the crowd actually got really behind both Briscoe and Takeshita in this one. Wanted to see one of those guys win. But yeah, it was kind of inevitable. Sometimes, hey, the most obvious pick maybe is it, and Jack Perry takes the TNT title, so he's with the Elite, bringing home more gold. JPO, any quick thoughts on that ladder match we saw? Anything to take away from that?
No, I thought it was a fine enough ladder match here. Again, I don't know if we've seen it. We're about to see 2 more this weekend. So
yep.
We're ladder heavy in the month of July.
And I've been watching TLC matches, so I'm in ladder match mode right now. That's right.
Ladder heavy time. But no, I mean it was fun. I kind of hope we can escape, but it makes sense. Perry now, we even saw on Dynamite all 4 of them holding up titles, so that's the image they wanted. So
yeah, for sure. Richard?
I'm just surprised, because you'd think that because obviously even with the controversy, there were some people that were actually behind Jack Perry in this match as well. Like he wasn't completely booed. Like those people, like he got a decent reaction. So and I think he's been doing all right in his spot. So yeah. Yes, again, sometimes the most obvious win is the good choice. I do want Takeshi to get some momentum though, and eventually win a title because that dude is like one of the best wrestlers on that roster, which says a lot. I think he should.
No, his match with Ospreay that I was live for at Sting's retirement Revolution was great. Yeah, still one of the best matches of the year. Yeah, I'd like to see that guy get some kind of a push. I don't know if it'll happen. We'll see. Wendy's doing an interview saying he's very unhappy wrestling right now. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with Takeshita, but I like the guy as well. And yeah, we had our other women's title match, winner take all. For the TBS and New Japan Strong Women's title, Mercedes Moné taking out Stephanie Vicker, who I thought looked amazing in this match, both just physically and her wrestling. And yeah, I had never seen her work before. I don't know if either you guys are familiar with her, but I had never seen her work before, and I thought she was great. I thought they had an excellent match. Crowd got really behind her. Maybe even the people that didn't know necessarily who she was. Really good match, and then kind of leading up to the big thing everybody's talking about that. Dr. Britt Baker making her big return as she was shredded. She has been doing crunches and push-ups and all kinds of stuff in the doctor's offices. Because she was absolutely shredded in between appointments. Because my God, she was shredded. But yeah, it looks like she's coming back, and that should be a big match. Britt Baker and Mercedes Moné. That should be a pretty big one, maybe for Wembley, I guess.
She called her out on Dynamite, so I'm thinking it's on
for Wembley. Yeah. So I mean, that's a big match. So I'm looking forward to that. JPO, any thoughts on this Mercedes match and the return of the DDS Britt Baker? What's up? DMD or DMD?
No, DDS. All around good stuff here. I agree. I think Valkyrie looked really good. No, I wasn't too familiar. Some of the New Japan or Stardom rather, and the female girls, I'm not too familiar with. So cool seeing her. We saw a bit of her on Collision finally. I was surprised they didn't have her on TV a little bit earlier to hype this match because it was all just kind of talk. So I think she should have been on Dynamite earlier than Saturday Dynamite / Collision. But no, she looked good. I hope to see more of her in the future here. That this was a good kind of eye-opening experience for AEW as well. So we'll see with that if ever. You never know. But Mercedes gets the win. She continues to look good. We set up Britt Baker. She's definitely been missed. Never totally off TV too. Like even in like the corner for like something like their mobile games. Like she's even been on like the cover of that. You know what I mean? So she's definitely a money maker. Merch seller. Still, even without being on TV for 10 months.
I was going to ask you when her last actual match was, but yeah, I guess you just answered the question.
Dynamite, she said like 10 months or something, so that's why I was going off that. Yeah, I can double check.
Look it up while Richie's talking. Yeah, Richie, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I thought the match was really good, and I certainly if I could blew me away. If I was AEW, I'd be looking at how can I bring her in more often, or when does it find her at, or like if I was WWE, I'd be like, she's good. The fact that she obviously at first they were behind Mercedes, and then they were like, wow, this chick's really good, and the crowd did like a complete reversal. They were booing Mercedes and cheering and cheering for Stephanie. And it was like you could tell why, and it was really good. I'm glad that Britt Baker's back here now. And I think it'll be a great match here. Yeah, I think like Britt Baker still probably remains like their biggest like homegrown women's star, I guess you could sort of say. Yeah. I'm trying to think about someone else. She'd probably stand out.
Besides MJ, I mean MJF for the men, her for the women. I would say probably.
Yeah. So it makes sense, and she's. And it sort of the match sort of confirms to me too that the moneymaker looks way better when it's on someone who's smaller, so that she can actually perform the move. If you can't perform, find a different move to perform in bigger women. So the moneymaker's a good move when she can perform it on on smaller women. But I thought this match was really good actually. I wasn't surprised because Mercedes was good, but I thought this match was quite good.
Yeah, JPO, you got a cage match. Last Britt Baker, match appearance for us.
She was telling the truth. It's been about 10 months. She faced Chris Statlander actually when Stat was champ back in September. So so she said it was correct.
Okay, so she is accurate. There you go.
I also like the idea of like her just doing push-ups and crunches while she's got like someone in the dentist chair. Like, are you gonna?
You know what? I just shot you up with that Novocaine. Let me get a couple of quick crunches.
Hang on. Are you gonna come back? Hang on.
Hang on. Look, I'm getting my reps in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, listen, they have their own offices, in between appointments. Who knows what they're doing in there. She could be doing push-ups and crunches. Why not? She definitely was doing something somewhere because, she looks in amazing shape. So, yeah, looking forward to that match and see what happens. Our semi-main event of the evening, Tetsuya Naito taking out Jon Moxley to win the IWGP heavyweight title here.
This wasn't great.
Yeah, it was not great. Yeah, kind of disappointing. I was hoping these guys would, do more to kind of beat the hell out of each other, given their previous match with a little bit of a bloody affair. Yeah, very bloodless match. And yeah, not terrible.
Feminine, Pez.
Yeah.
You mean the match where before Moxley 2 weeks ago was like, I'm going to put you in a coffin and I'm going to murder you? This wasn't bloody enough?
They didn't do any blood at all. And no, I didn't see any murdering.
Don't friend the life of your opponent, Mox. Just say you're going to beat him. Don't say you're going to murder him.
Yeah, when you didn't, nobody got carted off to the hospital. Nobody got, put into an ambulance or a coffin or a body bag. No, nobody died. In fact, it was kind of the opposite. Naito at one point just grabbed a piece of rubber from the guardrail and was hitting him with it. So brutal, just absolutely.
I was like, holy shit, brings me back to the day of the pool with my sister and then pool noodles.
pool noodles, yeah. Oh man, devastating.
The funny part too is I feel like the camera guy that knocked over literally was like, "Fucking stop already! Like, let me get up.
Just get back in here."
Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw that.
And then he looked legitimately annoyed.
JR was getting pissed off when they were fighting right next to him.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, hey, how dare?
What the hell going on here? Get away from me! What y'all doing? Get back in the ring!" Yeah, he was getting.
JR also got pissed at the guy behind him. It was really funny.
Yeah, there was somebody behind him, some drunk, yelling all night. He was getting pissed at him too. And then Nigel had to be like, "These fans at AEW very passionate about this main event." Just trying to cover for him. But yeah, no murdering, JPO. Nothing happened. Yeah, pretty tame match overall. So yeah, a little disappointing.
Yeah, I feel like Naito, like the last Forbidden Door, he was in that 6-man thing. It was like he didn't do much on that either. I don't know if it's like, I know his knees are shot. It's been shot for ages, but yeah, I don't know.
Him and Tanahashi's knees are shot. Both those guys can't move.
But yeah, you can tell when they're walking out to the ring. But like sometimes they're hiding it. But like he looked like by the end of the match, he looked like he was I don't know. Like they tried to the finish to Destano twice, I think. The first time it was a bit kind of botched, and then they had to do it again. But yeah, he looked like I don't know. And like this match was kind of I feel like Moxley had to carry the whole match. It wasn't this like bloody match that it was advertised to be, and it was like I felt like it was like Naito lost all of the match, to be honest.
Yeah. JPO, anything to add on to this one besides the non-murdering?
No, I'm glad Naito won. Just based on like I said in the pre-show with us, it shows that like a big title change can happen on Forbidden Door. It's the first time that we've had now an IWGP title change hand. So I hope that it gives you a little more leniency in the future. Like, let's have the occasional, TV title change or whatever. Have some fun with it, especially when you have plenty of wrestlers that are crossover stars,
And you have plenty of titles to go around.
Yeah, you get a title. You get
900 belts to go around. I think you can trade a few of them around every now and then. It's fine. Somebody can just go after another one. So apparently Roderick Strong could just lose his, international title and just go after the world title.
Go after the world title. I didn't get eliminated. I wasn't in a battle royal. Neither was 10 other people.
Yeah. But speaking of the world title, we did have our world champion Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana actually defeating Will Ospreay to retain his title. This is a match that I went back and watched again at the gym actually a few days ago because I just wanted to see because I was a little distracted for the first half of this. A fairly deliberately and kind of slow first half, like not actually a ton going on. They were fairly slow paced, but it picked up, about halfway through, especially with that stomp, onto the table that was disgusting and pretty great spot. But I mean, they did some cool stuff. The Hurricane run off the barricade was cool. Yeah, the pile driver on there. I mean, they picked it up in the ring from there. There was a great little spot, where Ospreay went for the Oz Cutter and swerved a springboard off the ropes and double stomped him off of the Oz Cutter, like in midair. That was pretty amazing. No, those guys, and once it got going, it was really great. I still think Ospreay and Danielson is still kind of the match to beat as far as his matches from this year. But it just kind of continues the streak, Richie, of hey, Ospreay, are you just gunning to have all of the top 10 matches of the year just with all of your pay-per-view matches? Number 10, Ospreay versus Roderick Strong. Number 9, Ospreay versus Takeshita. Number 7.
Number 8, Ospreay versus Claudio.
Ospreay versus Kyle O'Reilly. Just whoever he faces on television, basically, week to week. He's definitely gunning for that. And, but again, I think that keeps that aura, Richie, of his matches are almost like, you remember how RVD's gimmick was all Mr. Pay-Per-View. My matches were always worth paying for and paying to see. It's like Ospreay's pay-per-view matches are worth going out of your way to watch. I'm trying to make it worth the price of admission. No, I mean, it certainly was. But by the end, the kind of story of the match was Don Callis got involved, wanted him to take it to the next level with bringing back the screwdriver from the previous Forbidden Door and the Omega match. He kind of he thought about it, but refused to do it, which again, I think Alvarez did make a quick point when they were reviewing the show that earlier he's going for the Tiger Driver, which he said he wouldn't use, but he's going for it earlier in the match. But then now he's hesitant to be violent later in the match. It was a little.
But then on Dynamite, he said he was saying, I was hesitant to use the Tiger Driver, but I was going for it. I'm like, that didn't show in the match. It looked like you were eager to do it.
No, and he tried to do it. It's just Swerve reversed it.
He went
to do it and Swerve tilt-a-world out of it or whatever. He got out of it. He was about to do it. He lifted him up. He hooked the arms and did it, or tried to do it. So I mean, he wasn't super. Which again, I don't mind him going for it in a title match or something. You got to win the title, right? So I don't think it's that big a deal. Okay, but hey, but still, the Callis interference, Nana getting involved as well. But then, after the fact, Swerve able to take control, and he hit a couple of house calls, a stomp or two. Ospreay, kicked out of a few things, but then Swerve hit his own hidden blade, and then hit the JML driver to finally put him away. So, but it's still, really, really good. Guys, beat each other up really, really nice. Really, really, really good main event. I still think it's probably second or third as far as, Ospreay's matches of this year so far. Again, I think the Danielson one is higher. I might have to go back and watch the Takeshita one again, see how it came off on TV. But the Roderick Strong one I really liked as well. So, hey, so it's all good, JPO. They're still talking about the main event, so it's all good. Any thoughts? We've been talking about it, JPO. Any thoughts on the this main event here of Swerve and Will?
This is good.
It's a really good match, right? Really good.
Good main event we wanted it to be. I'm glad it wasn't too shenanigan-fied either. A little bit of course, in the end with him not wanting to necessarily do it. Almost murdering Nana. Otherwise, these two put on a really good match or another good notch. Kind of like I was saying with Swerve earlier, or with Priest earlier, good notch and Swerve's belt. And it's good stuff.
Yeah, Richie.
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying the only negative thing I was saying to that on Dynamite, Will Ospreay was like, I don't want to hit the I didn't want to hit the Tiger Driver. I was hesitant to hit the Tiger Driver. I'm like, no, you weren't. You were about to do it. You got reversed.
No, he was gonna hit it. Like, short got out of it. So yeah,
don't tell me I watched it. Don't gaslight me.
I saw what I saw. You're gonna drop it on his head, and you know what? I would have been fine with it. It's a title match. You do what you got to do to win the title. It's fine. I wouldn't necessarily blame you. So well, to me, it's also weird. It's like, wrestling matches, aren't you supposed to hurt your opponent? That's how you pin them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, okay, yeah, I don't want to hurt you, but I want to beat you. Okay, how do I do that? I mean, unless you're going to just do straight submissions, just try to make him tap out, like, you're going to have to do something to hurt him.
Also, I'd argue the Tiger Driver he did to Bryan Danielson was a lot more gentle than the one he gave to Kenny Omega at the time. But anyway.
That's also Omega. Like, Omega's a wild man and an animal, so he's like, just drop me on my head. It's fine. I'll recover eventually. Yeah, Bryan Danielson has a few more neck issues to worry about. Omega then goes away and has his guts, gut problems. But yeah, I mean, like we were saying, JPO, Ospreay's, gunning for just to have every match of the year candidate on the top 10 this year. What's the whole, when we get to the Lonely Marks Awards at the end of the year, it's just going to be like, all right, what's the top 5? Will Ospreay versus who?
We might need to just say, what is the Ospreay match of the year?
Yeah, Ospreay match of the year, and then the other matches of the year that don't involve Will Ospreay. Yeah, because it might have to be a whole separate category, because otherwise it's going to take all of them.
I remember when Cultaholic, they used to do this thing called Wrestlers of the Week, and then they'd tally up points, and then they would determine who the Wrestler of the Year is. And then people got annoyed because I think Will Ospreay won Wrestler of the Year 3 times. Because I was like, I can't. And Jack, the guy who's doing it, is like, I can't help it. He has really good matches. I have to put him first. A lot.
Well, and that might be the same thing with us. It's like, Wrestler of the Year. Okay, Will Ospreay and who else in second place? It's kind of going to be the same thing. But it is what it is. Yeah, he's going to have his own category of just the best of Ospreay this year, and then we'll talk about everything else. We'll get there when we get there. But we'll wrap it up there and kind of start wrapping the show up. JPO, kind of overall thoughts on Forbidden Door, maybe how it compares to some of the other ones, or what you can do at 10, all that jazz.
I mean, I still thought it was a decently well-rounded pay-per-view. Enough bang for your buck, if you will. 15, baby.
More than enough.
10 on the main. So, some stuff left to be desired here. The one IWGP title match was fine. I like the outcome. Matches itself a little clunky, but main event's really good. There's enough other fun stuff here. So, if we're doing scores too, real quick, I think really good main event. I don't know if this is what I'd go back to. Again, you're kind of missing some stuff, but women's title match is pretty good. I like the core. I can't say I'd give it less than a 7. Some stuff left to be desired, but the stuff that hit pretty well.
Yeah, Richie.
Yeah, I did really like the show. It's not the best Forbidden Door I've seen. I think the one with Cassidy and Ospreay. Was that the first one? Was that the first Forbidden Door? I'm pretty sure it was.
I think so, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I still maintain that's probably the best one they've done. Because I think that was just
because wasn't last year Omega and Ospreay at Forbidden Door?
Yeah, and that was great. Yeah, but but the show was really good. It had bang matches as you think. I like the addition of CMLL.
Cassidy and Ospreay.
Yeah, and so this show is really good. And I do like the addition of CMLL in there, and I'm hoping that that continues, and they get maybe there's a spotlight put on them more, and they can win some matches. I do want to see people like Stephanie Vicure utilize more if she's not picked up by WWE or somebody. So it is a good show. I always have a good time. I'm never going to really have a bad thing to say about AEW pay-per-views. They always deliver. I don't know. I'd say I'll give it a 7 or so.
Yeah, I'm in that kind of 7.5 range because there's nothing like offensively bad on the show. Maybe the Naito match, again, kind of disappointing. But I've seen way worse matches than that this year. But some really, really solid stuff. Origin Saber, Danielson and Shingo, both really, really good matches. The ladder match was fun as usual. Some of the trios matches, still had fun spots. And the main event was, again, up there, and really, really good main event delivered.
Shit, Ricky scored it 7.2.
Yeah, 7.28. All right, I'll go with that. Sounds good. But yeah, I mean, still, I would still recommend it. Yeah, AEW usually delivers in the ring, at least with these shows. That's why I don't mind ordering them and sharing it with you guys because, we always end up seeing some really good stuff on there, and usually some good main events and whatnot. So, but yeah, let's kind of wrap it up there. I've teased it a little bit. They have let me to go along with our Money in the Bank review next week. We'll do another draft of my idea. We'll call it sort of maybe Wrestle Crap Part 2 because we're gonna do a little twist on that. We had fun with our Wrestle Crap draft. Go back and watch that. We were just drafting the worst roster possible. We're gonna do something similar, but we're just gonna be drafting characters. So I want you to draft bad characters, bad gimmicks, just horrible ideas. Not necessarily the wrestler. You're not really drafting, because some of these guys are good wrestlers that have bad gimmicks. I just want the gimmicks. That's what I want. The rule about the same person is off the table. If you want to draft multiple versions of the same person, you are welcome to do so. So once somebody drafts, like I think one of our examples has been if somebody drafts Bastion Booger, Friar Ferguson is still on the table for somebody else to grab.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Yeah, hit me.
What if can we draft teams or like things that are directly linked?
I would say that's fine. Yeah, like a tag team or a faction or something.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if I could have both the Johnsons or like,
I
don't want to give away a thought of mine, but like they're definitely linked together. Like they're bad gimmicks because they're together, kind of.
Oh yeah. No, I'm gonna be very loosey goosey with this one. I'm not gonna be like totally crazy. Like, just have fun. I just want you guys to. Look up the Wrestle Crap websites. Look up some infamously bad, some articles, some bad gimmicks. And again, the only real rule is like. Just they had to have been on TV, like nothing like local. Some guy you saw at a local show, just like something on television or pay per view. And I don't even.
My buddy Joey bought a food court.
Bought a food court.
That is fucking great.
I mean, that sounds great, but I don't have any footage of that. So no, I mean,
I'll show you plenty.
Yeah, I mean, main promotion, something on TV pay per view. They don't even have to wrestle. And so you want to draft Dustin Rhodes' 7 character that never actually wrestled.
Yeah,
free to do so. Exactly. I don't even care. Just
gotta be up there.
A promo, promo appearance, vignette. I don't care. As long as it was on television, I'm with it. We'll have a little fun. Again, just kind of a laid back one. Just be a little silly, have a good time. No pressure, and we'll do that along with obviously we'll see what happens at Money in the Bank. And based on our predictions, JPO kind of all over the place. Kind of an exciting show, at least in that aspect, where we don't really know exactly where every match is going to go, as opposed to like a Backlash, or where we were kind of dead set on a lot of these being the same. So some interesting things could happen. So let's wrap it up, and then we will reconvene next week. JPO, kick us off where the good folks can find you out there outside of the Lonely Marks.
Outside of the Lonely Marks, find me over at the Pierce Co. We do lots of movie stuff, including maybe this trio talking some shitty movies soon.
Ooh,
in fact, tomorrow night, I believe.
Not shitty gimmicks. We're talking shitty movies, maybe with bad characters.
What's the problem with all us two? We don't talk about shitty things.
It's fun. It's what we're obsessed with. We can't get enough of it. I don't know.
Before we talk shitty wrestling next week, catch us tomorrow on the Pierce Co. We talk shitty movies. Might not be the worst of the year, but as far as it's the best, it's the worst of the year so far in the halfway mark. So we'll see that. And then besides that countdown, other countdowns will be happening. I'll be talking TV shows soon. Best movies of the year so far soon. I just shot one which is the best horror films of the year so far with John. I've only seen 8, so I actually only have a top 8 for once. But he had a top 10 and honorable mentions. He's the horror guru. But then we also got trivia going over there. We're still trying to schedule the finals. The finals of the tag team tournament are so fucking close. Everyone's on vacation, and as soon as one's done with vacation, the other person's on vacation. We're gonna schedule it.
Come on, people. Carve out half an hour and get it done. Come on now.
Give me 30 minutes of your time.
Yeah, that's right.
And like the one day they offered next week was like the one day I'm busy. Like it just never works out.
Exactly.
Wednesday? I'm like, God damn it. Any other day.
Tuesday, you told me the same thing. You're like, Wednesday? Like, yeah.
All right. But then also other fun stuff. Always doing trivia on there. In fact, catch a world title match that just dropped. Some interesting stuff happened on that match. And then, of course, Pierce Wrestling. We got exclusive interviews, exclusive matches, never before seen, including some wrestlers that you are familiar with. Danhausen, Flip Gordon, a bunch of all sorts of people, Diamante. And other channels too. I mentioned Why We Love Horror. Movie Battlegrounds are returning pretty soon. That's going to be a lot of fun. Movie debates. And maybe we'll debate one of you guys. It's down. It's going down maybe sometime.
Cool. Richie, what you got going on?
Yeah, you can find me in the talking about crap movies like do you want to say it? I think also got part 2 of Chris Scott's his top 128. That's tomorrow too, right? Is that...
Yeah. We're going to be doing on the Pierce Co at 8 Eastern and then 9:30 Eastern. Switch it over to the Movie Hero Network for the part 2 of we'll see what other wacky movies Chris Scott has on his 128. So I think he said the more wackier ones are on part 2. So we might look forward.
Yeah, it wasn't as wacky on the part 1, but
a few ones. But I think there was a few more on this one. So we'll see.
Only Biodome was another one. So check that out. I'm always on the PSCO. So find me there, and and then I appear in other leagues sometimes, like Why We Love Horror and all that. So
And I think the following week before the Lonely Marks, did we talk about doing our best of the year so far as well and flipping talking good movies? Did we kind of decide on that for next Thursday evening? Around 8:30, something like that. So
and at some point too, we got Wheel of Movies Golf Out.
We might have to push that to the week after that, but that's okay because it's just me and you doing our thing.
You and Malcolm.
We can do that anytime. Yeah, no problem. So because we want to. We're at that halfway point of the year, so we want to talk some halfway point of the year stuff. And I like JV said, it's like we're doing the worst of the year so far, but it doesn't necessarily mean they'll make it all the way to the end of the year because I had stuff that was on the one halfway and it got edged out by some other stuff later in the year, some other garbage I saw. So
there might even be things I don't totally hate. So who knows?
Yeah, all mine are like the worst ones. Even the ones at number 10 are gonna be like those 4 out of 10s, like not the worst thing ever, but more bad than good. That's sort of thing.
Deservedly on the list, I feel, and nothing I'm gonna talk about.
Sure.
Like, I'm sorry.
No, nothing like that. No, I've got a definitive list so far, and a definitely definitive number 1 that's going to be hard to top. What is it? Come find out on the Pierce Co.
Oh, wait. I think I know.
Come find out on the Pierce Co. These guys might know, but if you don't know, tune in and find out. There's one that I'm pretty damn convinced I'm not going to see anything worse this year. So we'll see what happens. We'll wrap it up for this week. So thank you for anybody who watched live. Brian, we actually had a few other people watching, at least a little bit. So we appreciate that. We're doing our best to get the word out about the new channel. We'll keep getting the word out over the next couple of weeks and get you guys to tune in. So whether or not you saw it live or next week, join us next week. We'll talk a little Money in the Bank. We'll see what all kinds of shenanigans go down in Toronto and see what happens. And then, we'll do a little kind of a wrestle crap bad gimmick draft. That should be a lot of fun, just reminiscing about some bad gimmicks. So let's do that next week. But for now, for Jacob Barber, we love you, Jacob. We'll see you again next week. JPO and Richie, I am Austin Pez Howell, and we will see you guys next week.